you think will surprise in OTAs? There's usually a guy.
I think the receiver? I think is is it T Martin or Trey Martin? Receiver out of he was at Washington State and then he transferred to Oklahoma State.
Tay Martin.
Tay Martin. I'm sorry. Yeah, Tay Martin.
So. Yeah.
He's a UDFA guy. Bigger receiver. Not great physically, but good with his hands, and has good hands. Red zone target. I think he's a guy that might show.
He looks like Kendrick Bourne 2.0, but they gave him number 49, which is really hard to look at. So hopefully he gets a better number because I don't feel like that gives him a fair chance to compete. You know what I mean? 49. It's almost like they're trying to stash him.
You should be happy you're not a Patriots reporter because Belichick just arbitrarily assigns numbers. Like if you're a running back, he'll give you like 75 or in the initial training. Training.
Is it like hazing? Is it like football hazing?
Yeah, because it's like numbers don't matter. He's trying
to. You got the door. Numbers don't matter. Whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't Mac Jones 50 or something.
I don't know. Was he?
I think he was 50.
He should have. If I was Belichick, I would have given him 100. But that's just.
We should just say 100 mil. 100 mil.
Yeah, just like literally 100 or 100 mil. Just have a customized jersey, like to have 100 mil.
But hold on, like let's see. Is there anyone else that could surprise during OTAs? Like, because usually there's someone, not just like an undrafted guy that people like in a few years.
Yeah, I think
someone who's like gets hyped up as like this guy's gonna start or be a contributor. It was Trent Sherfield, or sometimes it's just often a wide receiver.
Yeah, that's why I said him. Just not necessarily because he was a rookie, but I could see it be that. And I'm trying to go with a name that we haven't really talked about. We've talked about like Brandon Ayuk probably ad nauseum. Like everyone, I think expects him to have a bigger year, especially with Trey.
Okay, I got a name. Someone who will be surprisingly productive in OTAs.
I have one more on defense.
Okay.
I think Kamiko Turay.
Okay, I like that. The thing about OTAs is like the one position group, the two position groups that really produce and have stats, quarterback and wide receivers. So if a guy's catching a lot of passes, he's going to get written about.
Yep.
So one guy, like Debo's gone. He's not going to be there. You got a new quarterback who has different tendencies than Jimmy Garoppolo. So someone who just might have a huge freaking day that hasn't in the past, Juwan Jennings. He might have a day where he has 7 catches. Like, oh, wow. So they're going to feature him this year. Something like that. It could be something like that.
I could see that. And I think we're thinking along the same lines because my whole idea is I think you're good. Trey Lance is going to bring some things to the game that Jimmy Garoppolo didn't, and I think he's going to be able to make some of those throws in the red zone that Jimmy couldn't, and that's where those bigger receivers, those bigger possession receivers can come into play. Guys like Juwan Jennings and Martin. Yeah,
absolutely. Yep. And then also I want to see what the Ray Ray McLeod thing is because I feel like Kyle's a little defensive about him. He stuck his neck. He's like the new Jerick McKinnon. Oh, they didn't spend that much, but like they signed him. People were like, that's it. And Kyle's like, yeah, this guy's a baller. He's gonna play offense. We're gonna feed like, okay, fine. You're a lot smarter than me. Love to see what the plan is. Really curious to see how you just. And I'm sure he got a plan. I'm sure he's intent on justifying this. I bet you Ray gets a lot of snaps with the starters. He freaking better and get some balls. So I'm curious to see how that goes down.
Is he going to show you his real plan though in OTAs though? You know how Kyle is.
No, and he's not going to show you necessarily how he uses a guy, but he'll tip his hand as to who he's going to be using. I've seen that. Like with George Kittle, I remember it was OTAs his rookie year. He was getting 5-6 targets of practice. I'm like, well, that's highly irregular for a 5th-round rookie. I'm writing about that. I mean, that's a guy who's probably getting prepped for a large role, and he did start a bunch of games as a rookie, and that was back when Vance McDonald was still in the team. So I'm just curious to see who Kyle's going to. Who's he using? Who is he prepping for usage during the season?
Who walks out there as the first center?
Because Juwan got hardly any first-team reps last year. I mean, he was barely on the team. They had a ton of dude. Remember the Mohamed Sanu crap last year? Sorry. Mohamed Sanu was a surprise at OTAs last year, right? Yeah. Everyone was talking about Sanu. He looks so young. No, he doesn't. He looks like exactly how you would think Mohamed Sanu at 33 years old looks. He's turned back the clock. We got that. That was OTAs last year. Really, OTAs has been the time of like really embarrassing reporting because a lot of people just want to say good news, even if they believe it or not. So it's like Solomon Thomas looks like a whole different guy. Like, no, he doesn't. He looks exactly the same. Exactly the same. So yeah, flying season.
D Ford is primed for a killer year, right?
Yes. Yes. Last year was D Ford looks different. This is gonna
But
be
he did look good in camp. That like right, he did look in
right.
No?
Yeah, of course, because his issue wasn't knees, ankles, soft tissue. It was collisions, neck stuff. So yeah, he looked great in camp. He looked phenomenal. If only football could be played like that
In camp, just in camp.
Hall of Famer. He could play till he's 40.